What are obvious immediate giveaways that someone is an American? British man once told me he knew I was American because I was wearing a baseball cap backwards. Dude. Man. Tipping. Ranch. Talking to strangers in public. After living in Germany for 2 months, I was horrified when a stranger on the bus commented on my shoes. I am Canadian. Generally, Americans are far less reserved and love small talk. Pre-COVID, having hand sanitizer clipped to their backpack. Not sure that's still as accurate today. What comes to mind when you hear the word Ohio? Good morning. Callahan Auto Parts. They make brake parts for the working man because that's who they are and that's who they care about. I'm British and I had a politics teacher from Ohio in secondary school, so he is what I first think of. He was the most magical man with the most relaxing voice. Looked a little like Dustin Hoffman, and he would just keep the entire class spellbound. He'd start talking about his childhood in this sepia-toned way, running through cornfields, etc., and by the end of the lesson you came out understanding the themes of Orwell's 1984 without him seeming to mention it. Cedar Point. Drew Carey. Hawthorne Heights. 4 Dead Inn. What job do you have insane respect for, but you'd never personally do? 911 operator. Paramedics. Psych ward nursing. The guys that pump out the porta potties on construction sites. Holy fuck, do I have respect for them, but you couldn't pay me enough to do that job. I mean, I'd do it for $500,000 per year, maybe. Anything medical. Hospice. Underwater welding. What is a TV show you got really far into but eventually quit watching before its conclusion? Once upon a time I just stopped caring. Because it felt like none of the characters were actually developing and would just regress season to season. Arrow. Got tired of the main character flip-flopping from season to season. Felt he was hypocritical when he killed people in the first season and then hunted down people doing the same thing he did in the next, only for him to go back to kill people in the following season. Once upon a time. Can't even remember where I got to. I got 18 seasons into Grey's Anatomy before I got irredeemably bored. That's probably the biggest sunk cost here. Grey's Anatomy. How much trauma can a group of doctors go through? Sheesh. Pretty Little Liars. That shit got too confusing for 16-year-old me. Riverdale. I think it's still on. I got really into it and then just dropped it like a hot rock right about when Sweet Pea came along. Also, I was so convinced that Sweet Pea would introduce Popeye eventually and that Pop's Diner was some kind of portal and it would all be revealed they were in a comic book. I think I might have had too high expectations. You get transported 30 years into the future for 5 minutes. You are sitting in front of a computer. What information are you going to search? Welcome to 2022 OP. A lot has changed since 1992. Hope you're ready. It's been 30 years. WTF is this operating system? Where is the mouse? How do I? And I'm back at home. Gray's Sports Almanac. I'd probably spend 5 minutes paralyzed with indecision about what to search. Winning lottery draws. The dates and the numbers. If I'm dead yet. Best stocks of 2022. What do you like about yourself? I think I'm a decent listener. I've been through a lot and am still here. I'm fairly nice. And most people who get to know me think I'm sweet. That I can make sunny side up eggs and don't break the yolk most of the time. I don't know, but I'm proud of me. I'm very punctual. I was only late for work once, when the subway broke down. And that was only 15 minutes. The downside is, other people tend not to be punctual. I love making people feel good about themselves. What is clearly a myth but is deep-rooted in our society. You do not need to wait 24 hours to report a missing person. This is a myth perpetuated in crime shows and other media. If you think someone's is missing, you should report it immediately. Despite there being IIRC only one recorded instance in the US ever, there is a widespread perception that people are destroying Halloween treats with needles and razors. Aside from that, sweets for kids is being drugged. Since drugs are expensive, no one will waste their supply on adolescent randomness. Overcracking your knuckles cause arthritis. Lightning never strikes twice in the same place. Opening parenthesis. Yes, it does, and frequently. Cheaters never win. That good people get rewarded and that bad people get punished.